Hi there, Dane here, Chief Medical Officer at Basketball England. Just wanted to show you this short video around CPR and First Aid, particularly around COVID. Really so that you've got an update for your first aiders, but also your healthcare professionals. So the first thing to say is that the Resus Council, which oversees anything related to resuscitation, has updated the guidance in line with COVID. So there are some changes that I want to just bring to your attention. But also there are some differences between whether this is related to a first aider or whether it's related to a healthcare professional. And I'll talk you through the differences. So firstly, for first aiders, there is clear guidance out there, and the link above will take you to that. So if you go to the Resus Council website, there's a clear statement of how first aiders should now manage things like resuscitation. So it should be hands-only CPR, because as you push, there is already a risk of some aerosol generation. So the last thing you want to do is put a face mask or anything else and try and do breath. So they feel that the risk is quite high at this point in time, and there should be hands-only CPR. If that changes again in future because the risk of COVID has gone down so significantly, then they may re-review this. So do check the Resus guidelines for the latest guidelines. Ideally, you should be wearing level 2 PPE at least while doing this. So if you're a first aider, I would argue that with your first aid stuff, you should also have level 2 PPE that we've already pointed out in previous episodes. So that's masks, visors, plastic apron and gloves with your first aid kit. I would argue further it'd be better to be prepared. So if you're the first aider, would it be better to just stay with a mask on, because we're now making masks mandatory anyway, so it makes sense to keep your mask on, maybe a face visor, and then all you need to do is pop on the apron and gloves. And being pragmatic, if you had to rush without popping on the apron, then at least if you brought a change of top, you could at least take that one off and put a new clean top on, and then put that on a hot wash when you get home. So have a read of that and make sure you're happy, and please do signpost your first aiders to this resource to make sure they're happy. With regards to healthcare professionals, there's not a significant change. They do make it clear that you should cover the patient's nose and mouth with a cloth. So as you're doing CPR, that any aerosol generated is being almost blocked by the cloth. I would argue I don't see why we can't use that same concept in the average first aider as well. So bear that in mind. To do breaths, we need to make sure we have full PPE, because breaths and things related to ventilation are considered aerosol generators, so they can produce droplets. So in that case, you need level 3 PPE. So if you employing a healthcare professional in your organisation, so here we're really talking about physios or doctors who have had training for this level of PPE and they've got it with them in their emergency stuff, then it would be appropriate. In which case, the level 2 PPE first aiders will have got started, and the healthcare professional should put on the level 3 kit before starting ventilations. Till then, it should be hands-only CPR. So just bear that in mind again. And again, there's an infographic here. Again, it is up to you guys as a department to decide what you want to do in an organisation. If you wish to, even though you've got a healthcare professional, choose to do hands-only CPR because you've only got level 2 PPE, that is fine. But make a decision and make sure that you've updated your normal operating procedures and your emergency action plans to reflect what you're going to do. So that's a quick overview of CPR and first aid. Obviously, that's still a significant change. I would encourage all the first aiders and healthcare professionals working in organisations or clubs to read the Resus Council guidelines and be confident about their process, so that should it happen, hopefully it won't, and that you are well prepared to manage it.